Okay, is everybody logged into Onshape? First thing that you need to do. Yeah, we are. We are. First thing y'all need to do is go into Onshape and create a new file. So I'm going to go to projects. And I made a project folder that was called Among Us Engineering. And I'm going to click on that one. So I have a one that I've already kind of made, but I'm going to just create a new document. So I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to call it I can't even spell, Among Us second period. And I'm going to hit OK. And I should get like a nice blank document. The first thing that we want to do is we want to use the uh, character template that already exists because we don't want to just like flat out make this from nothing. That's actually incredibly difficult to do. But if you look at it, you can realize that like it's a pretty simple shape. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to all get the same design template together. So we can do that by, if you go to Canvas and you check on the announcement of things that we've done. So if I go to the dashboard and I go to second period and I check the announcements, yeah, the classwork, heck yeah, I work for like a 75. Like, yeah, of course we get graded on how good of teachers we are. I think I'm going for like a C. C for, yeah, C for diploma. Exactly. So that's what we're gonna go with. I'm just messing with y'all. Um, it's taking a little bit to load, but if you go to either the announcements or the modules, we should be able to get to the right spot. Yeah, there should be a thing that's called Among Us picture. You're going to need to download that picture so that you can actually get it. So I'm going to click on the coursework, and you could do this with any picture. It's just that this is the one that we're all going to use. So, yeah, so if you're familiar with how to insert a picture, you can go ahead and get that, but download this one. Yeah, download this one. It's in the announcements. Download this picture, the Among Us picture. Download that one to your Chromebook. Download that one to your Chromebook. Okay. Take a little bit of time to do that. Tomorrow, I am letting you guys just finish up your assignments that you've already done. Like, there's a lot of people who are not done with the pin slider block, so they need to finish the pin slider block. So my assignments tomorrow are just going to be catch up. I'm not gonna teach y'all anything new digitally. I'm just going to say, hey, catch up on your assignments. If you've already turned in everything, you're good to go. I'm not too worried about it. Um, if you're not caught up, you need to just spend some time and catch up on your assignments. So I'm going to go back here. I already have mine saved. So to find out where we actually put this, there are several different places to do it. My favorite thing to do is to go to the top view, and I'm going to create a new sketch. And there is a button over here that says like DXF. That's a little bit misleading because it says like insert a DXF or DWG, but if you click on the arrow by it, it also says insert image. That's the one that we're going to use. We're going to use the insert image button. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to bring up this list, and it's going to say, hey, there's nothing here, Chief. And the answer is, I know, I haven't put it in there yet. So now we're going to go down to the little bottom left thing that says import, down this little corner, and hit import, and you should be able to find it in your Chromebook. Okay, take a little time. When you're ready, when you have it imported, you should be able to click on the picture. So I don't want to go too fast though, so give me a second. I know a lot of y'all are like ahead. I see like all of these different things, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say here's the Among Us one. So I'm gonna hit that one. And it should import it. You should see the actual PNG. You don't want to make him super big because you're going to use this to trace. But I would put it, yeah, I would put it in one of the quadrants. So you click on the picture, and then you click just once, and you should be able to see the guy get bigger and smaller. So I would probably make him about like yay big. Please don't snap him onto anything. So like, see how it's like, doink, I'm gonna snap on here. Don't do that. Okay, just make him like a little free floating guy right here. Okay, make them about yay big. Yeah, because we're gonna trace it out, so it's not gonna be too big of a deal. Take a little bit of time, get that picture on there. You're gonna have to hit import in the bottom left. There should be an import button down here. It looks like we can't see it. You have to zoom out. Yeah, you're gonna have to zoom out on your browser so that you can actually see the import. There's a small little import button in the bottom left. It's not letting you what? You can't click what? Okay, are you on the sketch? Okay. Now it says it's oh okay. Do you have the go ahead, insert image. Go ahead and click on that. Click once. Now drag. It says draw image rectangle, so it should work. So if we just click once and then move, doesn't look like it wants to though. That's interesting. Because it says draw image rectangle, so it should be working. Maybe if we double click. Um, are you? Yeah, you're in the right sketch. We're just gonna try again. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do sketch. Let's click top, and then we're gonna insert image. We're gonna click on that. Okay, yeah. I don't know what was causing it to not do that, but we'll just like put them right there like that. Everybody else okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Nothing, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, getting it loaded. Think we're good to go. Yep. Okay, I'm ready. Oh my. Yeah. Good. Got it loaded. Okay, so go over here to this top button, but you're going to click on the arrow. You're not going to click on, yeah. So it says insert image, and then you're going to click on the one that you have. You're going to click on the actual, okay. Okay, hang on. Go back to current document, and you're going to have to zoom out so that you can get to the import button. So we're going to hit Control minus so that we can see where it says import down there. Click on that button. Okay, click on import. And once we click on import, click on that PNG, yep, and hit open. Now, you can click on the picture, and then you can click and drag it down. So just click once, and then, yep, make them a little bigger. Don't snap them on. Yep. Okay, everybody got your picture? Good. Oh, one more. Okay, what's up? That is what happened. Okay. Top, insert image. There's the PNG. Click on it. Then click once. There it is. Good job. We got it. All right, everybody's good to go. We're here. Oh, almost. Okay. You don't have to Google search for an individual one. You have to get it from our Google Drive. So how do we get to, yeah, so click over there. No, go to your, have you downloaded it from my announcements yet? Okay, that's what you need to do. You need to go to announcements and you need to download it from announcements. Go to my announcements, find that image. Yes, ma'am. Have you downloaded it from the announcements yet? Have you, okay, so you're gonna have to zoom out. See where it says import down there? You're gonna have to hit import. Okay, find your picture. There it is. Hit open. Okay. So then you're gonna click on the picture and then you're gonna click and make the picture go. Got it? Yep, click on that one. You should be able to download that. So hit the download button. There you go. That's the picture we're gonna use. So now go back into Onshape. Go to, if you're in, are you in sketch mode? Yeah. Go to that button. Insert image. Oh, go back. I'm sorry, that was like a toggle. Do it again. Oh, nope, nope. Insert image. Close. You're going to click on the arrow, and you're going to click Insert Image. Okay, good. Then we're going to go to Import down at the bottom. And then from there, you should be able to pick your button. Okay, there we go. Hit Open. Click on that picture and then drag it into one of the quadrants. Don't snap it into place. Just drag it into one of the quadrants. Okay. Everybody good? Okay, here we go. We're going to start trying to trace everything out. So, in your sketch, don't actually click on the green check mark. You ain't done yet. You hadn't even made a sketch yet. So, if you have finished your sketch, you're going to want to go back in and right-click Edit the sketch. So, I don't want to see anybody in a sketch 2 yet. What we're going to do is we're going to trace around the inside of the little space person, but we're not going to include the actual like the visor part, and we're not really going to include the backpack part because I need y'all to think about this. We're going to make this in 3 layers. So what is the furthest back layer? The backpack is the furthest back layer, and then it's going to be the body, and then the goggles is going to be on top. Okay, so this is going to be on 3 layers, right? The backpack's going to be on the back side, then the center one's going to be on the, I'm sorry, the body's going to be the center layer, and then the visor's going to be on top. So we're going to make the backpack first. I think that's going to be the easiest one to do. So we can use the line tool, but we're going to use a little bit more than that too, okay? Because we can use line, but we can also use fillet and circle, and I'm going to show y'all some neat stuff to do with it, okay? So let's see. Let's start off with the easiest one to do. I think if we do the line tool, if you start off, and we're going to do the inside of it, not the outside, because you can see that that black line is like really stupid thick. So we're going to click on the inside, and I think with the line tool, we can easily just make this like 2 lines. You don't want to make it vertical because it does kind of curve a little bit. So I would just make 2 lines right there. Okay. But then when we get to the next spot, it looks like this isn't really going to be like a straight line. It's going to look really, really pixelated if we do that. So we've got a couple of different options that we could use if you want to. We could use a circle to get it really kind of smooth, or we could use the spline command to get a curve going. Which would y'all prefer? Everybody goes spline. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so if you get down to that bottom part, that into the blue line, click on the dot that we made before, and then you're going to click on the spline button, and you're going to have to kind of experiment with this. You may have to undo it a couple of times because you click, you move the mouse over, and then when you click again, it's going to make a curve. Okay, so the clicking should actually like move out to like some kind of weird curve part. So I'm going to just like make 3 dots. And if you make those dots, you can go in and you can change where those dots are located, and it will change the curve location. So I can click on this and it will change where my curve is. So I can kind of make it look like, as long as you didn't lock anything down, you can move these points and you can make it look really close to the backpack. Okay, so I'm going to take this dot and I'm going to drag it down. I would probably only make it have about, I don't know, 3 or 4 dots. I wouldn't go past that because if you do, you're going to go insane with all the dots that you've got. Okay, so try to mess around with the spline. Oh God, I just destroyed everything. Try to mess around with the spline tool and see if you can actually get that to work. That's the sketch that we're kind of looking for right there. That's what I did. I did line, line, spline, 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 all the way around. And then I connected it back up to the top. Okay? Spline, spline, and then connect it. All right? So that's the kind of sketch that you're looking for. Okie dokie? What's your problem?
It got real small.
Okay, you zoom in. Just use your 2 fingers and zoom in like that. Okay, 2 fingers, pull out, zooms in. Yep. Okay, so like once you're there, just hit escape and it goes away. Yeah, once you get done with your splines and you've finished it, it's going to try to like want to keep going. Just hit the escape button and you're good to go. That looks reasonable. Okay, as long as you've got them all connected, you're good to go. Okay, as long as you've got them all connected, you're good to go. All right, everybody good? Everybody good? Yep. Uh-huh. Um, sure. Okay, so like you want to, so like zoom in a little bit. If you zoom in, you won't be able to, yeah. Well, I guess that's one way to do it. But see, it's wanting to snap into place. So you just want to make sure. So I think the easiest thing to do would just go ahead and make it out to the side. Just go ahead and make it out to the side, anywhere. Just that's perfect. Just go ahead and click it right there. Yeah. Now I know it doesn't look perfect, but you can just click on that dot and you can drag it around to where you want it to go. And then it wouldn't be nearly as then it doesn't want to snap into place. And be careful because you don't want to snap it in place on the horizontal part. Okay. Yeah. You hit escape. Yeah, if you want to click out of it, you hit escape to click out of it. Okay. Y'all have the possibility to 3D print these. Yeah, absolutely. If we make them small enough, we can. Um, for us, nothing. So if this is the actual project that we do, nothing. Yep. It looks like it did. What do you mean? Are they not connected? They look. Here, Control Z. Go back to normal. I think it's okay. I don't know. I'm gonna go zoom in. Those look connected, and these look connected. So I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Because remember, it's going to shade in, but it's not going to shade in like really dark. So sometimes if there's a blue background underneath it, it's going to be hard to kind of see what's going on. I'm going to move my guy back in place so that I can see this. All right, if everybody's good, what we're going to do now is we're going to use the, because we want to actually try to get like an actual like thickness this way. So what we can do is we can actually use um, we could use the offset command, and that's probably going to be what we want to do. So like if you look up here, there's like a button that looks like, almost actually looks like the Among Us character. It says offset up here. So you can click on that button, and what it'll do is whenever you click on the spline, it will make a copy of it, but it'll make the copy of it a certain distance away. So you want to take the arrow and you want to drag it away towards the backpack, and it will create a extra part of the sketch that is like a copy of it, so you didn't have to redo it, and it makes it look like really nice and smooth. So you get like an offset from it like that. And then once you get it where you want it to, you can click the enter button, I think, and if you hit enter, it'll make a sketch. Okay. Something very bad happened. Welcome to life. Um, all right. And then once you get the offset done, you can go ahead and you can readjust where the dots are. Okay, give me one. Okay, so I'm watching for potential yeetage to happen here. Okay, click on that. All right, now okay, now go ahead and finish it. Is it trying to lock into something? So it looks like it might be trying to lock into something. Okay, so don't try to do the entire sketch. Just do the spline part instead of the whole thing. So just click on that part, the outside arc. So offset arc on the outside, and then pull it out. It's interesting how it's trying to do the whole sketch. So go ahead and finish. Yeah, try not to. Okay, so guys, y'all need to make sure that you're selecting the actual side of the sketch. Make sure that you're actually just clicking just the spline part. Don't click on the whole thing because it doesn't know how to deal with splines very well. Yeah, once again, that's an undo. You're going to have to play around with it a little bit. This isn't something that is just going to automatically work. So click on that. Okay. Now, okay, so I think I know what your problem is. I think you just clicked and dragged, which means it's going to try to drag the entire surface. So you don't want to do that. You want to click on just the spline part, like this, and then you want to click, make sure that only the spline part is selected, and then you want to select offset because you're only offsetting that part. See how that's the only side that's connected? I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it this way, and it makes the sketch. Okay? Yeah. In the text? I don't know. I don't I don't I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Um, you can search for it and see. Okay, is it still not working? Yeah. Yeah, you just need to click this and drag it that way. You got it. You got it. Yeah. Click it and drag it that way. You're going to select all of the splines. You're going to select all of the splines. Oof. There you go. Yeah, that looks good. Mhm. Is it working? So you don't necessarily so like think about how we're going to be building this. If you're 3D printing it, you don't want it all to be on one sketch because if you make it on one sketch, then it's not going to work out the way you want it to. So, do what? Yeah, that's reasonable. Okay, the next thing you want to do, the next thing you want to do is you want to try to close your sketch. Okay, you want to try to close your sketch around. So like if I look at mine and I'm going to go ahead and move the image out of the way. Okay, you can see how like I've got a shape on the outside. This is like where the backpack is, but I don't have it like completely done yet, right? So you can either just take using the line tool or you can use a spline if you want a little bit of curvature in there. I'm going to just use a line. I'm going to just use a line tool and I'm going to just use the line to connect the dots between those other two parts of the backpack and I'm going to be good to go on that one. If I move him back, yeah, what's up? How did I move the sketch? You can just click on the sketch and move it. No, I was just making that easier scene for y'all. You don't have to move it. It's optional. Yeah, I can kind of see how down here there's a little line that's not quite where it's supposed to be. That's going to be okay. I think we can get close enough on the character design and we'll be just fine. Because keep in mind, all of these sketches are not constrained in place yet. So if I move one part of it, it's going to try to move everything else along with it. So make sure that you've actually got, everything roughly in the right spot where you want to go. And we should have this nice thick line for the backpack as well too now. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? Okay. So that's the backpack. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new sketch because we don't want to put all of this stuff on one sketch. We want to try to make an outline of the person as well. And you're going to ignore the visor. So it's going to make a sketch and you're going to make a sketch that kind of looks like a Pac-Man person. Okay, so you're going to completely ignore this visor. So I'm going to hit the green check mark to show that I'm finished with the sketch. And then I'm going to create a new sketch. And I'm going to create a new sketch on the top plane. And let's see here. Where do we want to start? You can use the spline tool, but be really careful with how many points you get in there. And remember that if you're using the spline tool, if you try to move a particular part, it's going to change like everything. So you want to keep it simple. I'm going to start with the line tool. And I see like this part over here is on the left side is pretty flat. So if I make it just a line that goes, and let's see, try to make sure that it's not vertical, right? You don't want it to snap into vertical place. But like if I make two lines that go right there, that's going to be like a pretty good start. Okay, and then I can start using curves around the other side as well too. I can also see that there's a flat line between the person's legs. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's not horizontal, okay, and kind of make a line going there too. And I just opened the help menu. Sorry. There we go. Okay, kind of like that. So I'm just making three lines, three straight lines right there at that point. And then we'll kind of make some spline tool stuff that goes along too. Actually, you know what? That leg looks kind of straight as well too. So I think I'm going to add another line to that part as well. So I'm going to hit the line tool again, and I'm just going to extend this down now that I see it and kind of go, about right there. That's okay. And remember, as long as these lines are blue, you can click on the points and you can drag them around and you can change the position. So if it didn't click exactly where you wanted it to go, you can kind of get it to go in the right location. Okay, now is the hard part. Now we're going to start splining everything together. And this will be interesting. So I'm going to click the Spline tool, and I'm going to just start at the bottom left, and I'm going to create a couple of dots to make a curve around the person. And like that, I think. I think that worked. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was close. That was close. You're going to ignore the goggles. You're going to pretend that the goggles do not exist right now because you're making the body layer, you're not making the top visor layer. So when you make your lines, it's going to go like around and then you're just going to go like swing straight up through here. You're going to ignore, like you're totally ignoring the visor at this current moment is what you're doing. Okay? So we're just making a sketch and we're ignoring the visor completely. Um This crease down at the bottom also kind of looks like it's a straight line, so I don't know. I think I can get away with making it a straight line, and nobody's going to hurt me too bad. No, Mr. Broadway, this is terrible. Oops, I made that one horizontal. Keep in mind that if you make something vertical or horizontal, that there's going to be a constraint on it, and you probably don't want that constraint there, to be honest. So if it doesn't come out like completely horizontal, you can always click that point and drag it, because once you drag it, it seems to have a lot more um, movability. It doesn't want to snap it in place nearly as well, and that's what I wanted. So I'm going to do the spline tool, and I'm just going to like start like you just start tracing around the outline. That one was vertical. That one's going to be a problem. So I'm going to click, 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 click. Yeah, and keep in mind, you only want to spline, like you don't want to spline the whole character at the same time. You want to make like segments. So like notice like for the leg, I went spline, 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 stop. And then I ended. Okay, because if you keep going around the whole way, it's going to be like, oh, you want me to do everything? And whenever you move all the curves, it's going to make some weird stuff. I think so. Yeah, I think y'all got me. Y'all are ahead of me now at this point because I'm trying to explain myself. What's up? Hit escape. Yeah, when you can't. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it's because I'm magical. That's okay. Um, that looks reasonable. Yeah, like the spline tool is working out really well for you guys. I need to finish my splines so that I can catch up with y'all. Okay. Now you're wanting to ignore the visor, so instead of going doo, 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 all the way around like that, just go whoosh, straight up across. Like pretend that that's not actually there. You want to ignore it, so you can just delete those parts of the spline and you'll be okay. Constraint, hit that box and hit the backspace. So click the box and then click backspace, and it goes away. Make sure that the box is selected. There you go, and it goes away. Which side do you go around? You're going to go straight through. Don't do that. You're going to ignore the goggles. So go straight through. Yeah, straight through. Because remember, the visor is on a different layer, so you don't want to include that in the sketch right now. You're basically making three different layers. I'm going to go back to splining. So I'm going to go spline. So here's me ignoring the goggles. Spline, 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 spline. Done. Okay. And I'm going to hit escape so that it actually. Uh, hmm. Okay, I was about to say there it went. I didn't have that extra one there. So that's going to be my spline and my character around. And you know that you did it right if you can like see that all of these points are connected to each other. So you can see the different like areas where you've actually created something. So I just want to make sure that I look through and double check and make sure that all of these things are actually splined or are actually connected to each other. Okay. No, you don't have to use the spline tool if you don't want to, but you need to make sure that they actually do connect, because whenever we try to extrude it, you're you're gonna want to have that there. Okay. Some interesting stuff is gonna happen now though, because if we use the offset tool, there's gonna be a little bit of a problem because in the offset tool down here on the bottom part, if I push this sketch out and I push this sketch out at the same time, they're going to hit each other. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem down on the bottom. But we can cheat for the top part, and we can use the offset button. So let's try this again without hurting ourselves. So I'm going to hit offset, and I'm going to just click on the things that I want to offset. So like, so say I want to click on this spline, this line, this line, this line, this spline. Yeah, I think that's not going to get me in too much trouble. And I'll just take the arrow and I'll just squeeze it down to where it makes a offset that works. Like that. Okay. Now I'm not gonna offset everything. I'm just trying to save myself work and time because I don't want to remake that sketch if I've already done part of it. But the bottom part, I know oh God, look at that. Look at that. What is that? Okay. Hang on. Let us attempt a couple of things before I control Z. Can I take this and pull it in without it destroying everything? It doesn't seem to want. Okay, so. Uh-oh. Okay, so like I'm gonna control Z then. I'm gonna undo. It's okay. It's okay. Here's what. All right. So we can't do all of that. We're gonna have to do a little bit less. You click the check mark and it actually worked, even though it was like all cattywampus over to the side. Um, you can copy and paste and just try to make it bigger, try to move it out. I like using the offset tool, but I don't necessarily know if the offset tool is going to be really nice to me this time. I'm going to click. All right, so like look, if I don't do everything, the offset tool works, okay? So just try to find the offset to where you can actually like get it to move at a particular distance. You don't have to offset the entire thing. So I can just try this one segment at a time. And if I try this one segment at a time, hopefully that makes my life a little bit easier. See, can I get these to snap into place to each other? Boop. Let's see if that works. I think that made a sketch. Yeah. So if you make two offsets and they don't quite match up, you can just use the coincident constraint. So I'm going to click up here where it says coincident in the top right. I'm going to click the dot, and they just snap it. Oh, God. No, that made it worse. Never mind. Just kidding. Ahem. That says a big no bueno. They're too. When we're dealing with splines, we can't just make them match up. Okay. Sounds like, yeah, I could just do a line and connect him. That's true too. I could just do a line and connect him. Let me go back. I'll go back and see if I can do that because I just erased it. Basically, this is a creative process. This isn't something to be like, here's the formula for how to make an Among Us character. There's not one. Okay, this is not. This is a creative process. So you could use the line tool and you could just like squeeze them together, like so. Or I could just try to click and drag this and see if it can fit into place. It really seems like they're starting to become a little bit too constrained to each other. Even though I'm actively trying not to get them constrained, it seems to be doing that anyway. I could do that, but it would make like a jagged edge on the side of the person, and I don't know, it'd be like they have like a little shank in there. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Might make me a little uncomfortable. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just time to spline again, and maybe that just might make our life as easy as possible. Let's see here. So I guess I'll try that. If I use the spline tool and I just, start going around the outside, spline, and that, yeah, y'all are like, that's just what I did, and I was done. I was just trying to look for fancy solutions, and in doing so, it ended up costing me more work than just using the spline tool. But if you get to like this point right here, see how it like starts to like weirdly curve around? I would stop the spline right there, and then I would make a new one. You could totally do that. Yeah, a straight line would totally work. You could do that. If you did the offset and it honestly kind of worked, I am proud of you. Congratulations. But it didn't seem to work for me, so I guess I'm just going to Splineville. Welcome to Splineville, population me. Uh, your computer is revolting against you? It's time for a bona fide tax revolt. All right, so I'm going to use the spline command, and I think I have everything there. That looks reasonable. Make sure that they're all connected to each other and that you don't have any like weird stuff on between. And that's going to be like the body so that we can use this. And we can use the sketch multiple times. So we can use the sketch for the outline and we can use the sketch for the body at the same time too. We're just going to have to use both of those features. Okay? Now guess what? Once you get that outline and that trace made and you're happy, go ahead and click the green check mark. That'll be our second sketch. And we'll make our third sketch. The third sketch is going to be the visor. Okay? This third sketch is going to be the visor. Yeah, what's up? That looks, yeah, it looks decent. Yeah, absolutely. Y'all just got to make sure that they're connected, and I think you're good to go. Yeah. The proof in the pudding is going to be if it actually like looks like it whenever we get the 3D design done. That's going to be the proof in the pudding. Obviously, we're using like online software, so this isn't going to be like super accurate, but it's going to be close enough. I think it's going to be close enough that we'll be able to have something fun to play around with, so that you guys can like make sketches of your own little accessories to go along with it. Y'all ready for the visor? Okay. I think I am now, right? It's official. When you're ready, finish the sketch, yeah. When you're ready, finish the sketch. I thought about it and I thought that this one was the geometry of the shape is simple enough that we could make this. This is an introduction. This is an engineering design, or this is a design process that's easy enough. I don't want to say it's an engineering process, but it's definitely a design process that's easy enough for us to do. Okay. And then the design process is I'm going to go to sketch mode, and then I'm going to click top. And then I don't see any straight lines. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to make two splines. So I'm going to start, see where this is kind of like a sharp edge right here? It's like circle, 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 angle. I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to spline around. So spline, spline. Make sure that your sketches don't interfere with each other. So like they kind of want to lock into place with each other. So like see how I'm moving this around and it's like, "Oh, do you want to lock here?" You probably don't. So what I would do is I would just make it a little bit off, and then whenever you get done, just move those dots into place. So I'm only going to spline halfway around, and I'm going to take these dots and just make sure that they actually fit up into place. So I'm going to just click and drag until I get it right on the outline. Okay, that's the good thing about using this design software is that you don't have to make a perfect curve. You can just make a okay curve, and then you can just take the lines and put them in place. It's kind of like lazy person's art. Um, I think we're gonna go with that. There we go. Yeah, you want to make sure that they don't snap into place on the previous sketch. So you may have to kind of like get it off a little bit. And then I'm going to spline around on the other side. And remember, you just have to get close. Spline, 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 spline. And I'm going to connect them at that dot. And I'm going to hope that everything works out okay. There we go. Okay, so like I look up here and I goofied on this part because these two are not connected to each other. So I can either click and drag these to connect them to each other, or I can, ooh, doesn't look like it wants to. So like, yeah, let's do coincident. Let's see if I can connect them. So connect, connect, and there it goes. Okay, coincident constraint. It is our friend. Now, I'm going to just make sure that all of these curves kind of go along with the outside of the visor, and then we can make our offset. And if we did it right, offset should work just fine. If we didn't do it right, we can just spline around again. No big deal. You should be able to offset the whole thing. Like if we're lucky, we should be able to offset the whole thing. It works. Okay. It's a simple enough shape that I don't think it's gonna like freak out on us since it's just a visor. So I'm gonna click offset. I'm gonna click on both splines, the top one and the bottom one. There it goes. And I'm going to click the arrow and I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. It doesn't look like you just pressed enter and it went away. It was like no. Well, maybe it is time to spline. Maybe it's or maybe yeah, I'm spline around again. This is the problem that you guys chose. Whenever I said, "Hey, we could do circles or we could do splines," and y'all were like, "Splines." Splines and like all of these tools don't necessarily always work nicely together with each other. Okay? Yeah. Uh-huh. You clicked on it and pulled it out in offset? Okay. Well, good. I'm glad it worked for you. It's not working for me, but I'm glad it worked for you. Um, what's up? Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, you're gonna click on offset, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, mine's not working either, so I might have to spline. But it looks like yours actually works okay. I don't know why it's giving you an error and then decides to work. I don't know. Welcome to the world of 3D design. Okay, so right, so mine's not working either. So if it's not, guys, if it's not working for you, you're gonna have to hard mode it around. You're gonna have to spline it around. You either have to find the error or you have to do it the long way. Okay, so you can find the error or you could go the long way. I'm a little bit more inclined to think that if it's a simple shape like this, just going the long way might not be that big of a deal. If it was a really complicated problem, then probably finding the error would be the way to go. But I'm going to spline. I'm going to spline around the top because I think we'll just solve that problem this way. So I'm going to spline, 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 spline. I'm going to keep going until it like starts looking funky. It looks like it's okay. Spline, 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 spline. There we go. Close enough. Good enough for government. All right. And there we go. So we now have three different things. We have the visor, we have the body, we have the backpack. And that's the basic anatomy that we need for a crewmate. Okay. So we can probably start thinking about how to actually like 3D design this. So let's click the green check mark. And we've got three sketches. Sketch one, sketch two, sketch three. Okay. Sketch one, sketch two, sketch three. How much more time do we have left? 7. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a couple more things. We're probably going to run out of time here, but let's go ahead and do a couple more things. So for sketch one, we're going to go ahead and extrude. So we probably want to extrude the backpack, right? So I think we're going to click extrude and we're going to hope that this works. So ready? I'm going to click on the oh no. I'm going to go ahead and click on isometric view so I can get like a flat version of this guy going. I'm going to click on extrude and then you've got like 80 bagazillion options to click on here. Click on the inner part of the backpack and see if it actually does extrude. Obviously 1 inch is going to be a little bit too large. Why don't we go with like 0.1 or a tenth of an inch? Okay, zero point 0.1. And that'll give us a thickness that'll actually work. Okay, does that make sense? Now, if you want to, we can go ahead and we can extrude the other part of the backpack too. And then, well, we're extruding up, and we're going to need to extrude it a tenth of an inch, so 0.1 inches. And then click OK. All right. Now you can use either the fillet or the chamfer, and we can fill it around the outside edge here. But remember, 0.2 is going to be way too big, or well, maybe not. That actually seemed to work out okay. So like if you click on the fillet, it's going to make like a little backpacky thingy that looks like, well, I don't know, it kind of looks like an outline. So then you can click the green check mark and we have the backpack. Okay. That was actually a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. It's not doing very well. It's glowing red. What specifically what is glowing red? For the fillet, I just used 0.2. You can play around with it and go with whatever works good for you. If it's red, make the number smaller. If it's red, make the number If it's red, make the number smaller. Make it like 0.1 for the fillet. Okay? If it's red, make the number smaller. And that hopefully will work out for you. Okay? Try to play around with the fillet and make it have the right length to it. What's up? Looks good to me. Yeah, looks good. Spline, 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 all the way around. Spline, spline, spline. Do what? Yeah, that looks reasonable. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what's up? Yeah, is the fillet there? Go. Okay, well go ahead and just make it point 0.1. Yeah, go ahead and make it a fillet of 0.1 inches. You don't have to keep it at 0.2. Remember, these are all different designs, so if it works for me, that doesn't necessarily mean that it works for y'all's. Okay? Yep. Do what? Your sketch believes that it's not closed. Is it closed? Are you sure? Go double check and make sure. Go back into sketch mode, right click edit sketch, and make sure. Are you talking about for the person? Yeah, make sure that that sketch is closed. That's going to be the hard part, is if we actually closed our sketches or not. Let's see. Do we want to try to go for the body? Okay. So for the body, we're going to do the same thing. There's not a difference, okay? So we're going to click extrude. We're going to click both of the shapes. Hopefully they work. And it's going to extrude out. Make sure that you only make it 0.1. Okay, yeah, 0.1. Don't make it the entire length. Now it looks like a coffee mug. Okay, and we're going to click the green check mark. Okay. I have many problems too. Like my backpack is totally not connected to my person, but that's okay. Um, okay, now listen guys, if your outlines are glowing, that means that you probably don't have your sketches closed. That means that you don't have them connected all the way around. So what you need to do is you need to try to find out how you can get them connected all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and use the fillet button, and I'm going to use it on my, uh-oh. Let's see, I need to change my fillet size to probably 0.1 to see if it actually goes around. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to change my fillet size to be a little bit smaller, and then see if I can get it to go around on the other side too. Well, there's a little bit of a like a weird spot right here, but maybe if I just fill it, and yeah, that just broke everything completely. So undo. There we go. That looks like about as far of a fillet as I'm going to be able to go on this. It looks like it's trying to incorporate what I had over here. So maybe we want to, I tell you what, let's experiment around. Let's try something. I'm going to close the fillets so that it's just straight up. And I'm going to change my extrusion for the body. And instead of it being 0.1, I'm going to make it like 0.12. I'm going to make it just like a little bit larger, 0.12. So maybe whenever I fillet them this time, they won't try to like interact with each other. So I'm going to click on that. This may or may not work, by the way. So we're going to click on the fillet button. We're going to fill it around. And we're going to make sure that it's 0.1. That seems to work a little bit better. That seems to work a little bit better. Your backpack's floating? I'm sorry. You got floating backpack syndrome? Yeah. If you make the body a little bit taller, that seems to work out a lot better. Okay? I have no idea. We'll have to figure that out whenever we get there. But I think we are, yeah, it's 9:51. I think we get out at 53, right? So I think we're almost out of time. We'll tackle the visor on Monday. So I will do a quick approval of shapes. But for the weekend, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure, oh, there we go. Make sure that you finish the assignments that are already there. Have a great day.